Hello, everyone, and welcome to another another live stream here. And I'm going to record this and most likely release it as a podcast as well. So the video version of this is available to YouTube members, YouTube folks in the member area. So a series of books that I've been pretty interested in is called the Jerry Bergonzi Inside Improvisation series for all instruments. And I hadn't really thought a lot about this particular topic so much recently. This is Hexatonics. So I'm going to read a little bit from this, from the book here. So it says Hexatonic scales are 6-note scales. One way to create a hexatonic scale is to combine the notes of two triads that don't have any common tones. These 6-note scales are a valuable, effective tool for improvising, for creating voicings, and for composing. And he goes on to talk about the importance of triads and all that. So we're gonna kind of go in this direction, but I thought I'd talk about a couple of just kind of 6-note scales to begin with. One that's real common is the blues scale. So that's a 6-note scale. And then other ones which are going to fit more into this book are more like whole tone, kind of scale. So you have this very kind of open sort of sound, and that's actually two triads, two augmented triads sitting next to each other. So that's going to fit into this talk as well. And then there is an augmented right. So you get the and then there again the augmented triad, but this time in half steps away from one another. I'm not going to read this, kind of word for word, but let's see. It says there are numerous hexatonic scales. This book will focus on the ones that are practical for the improviser and composer. As with other books in this series, there's a play along. Okay. All right. So in the first examples here that he's got is, I'm going to play these mainly as arpeggios, but we get a C major triad and then the D triad. Okay, so he's marking this as a C or a D over the C. Get this tuned up a little bit better. All right. Okay, so we've got root position and then second inversion, just kind of working up like that. Okay. All right, so he's got some. So he's got that, and he's got some other inversions and things of this. Oh, did I get that right? There we go. Okay, and then he's taking them. So in this the first case, you get root position C, second inversion D, first inversion C, root position D, second inversion C, and first inversion D. There we go. And then we can stack these in an order. And you might even try to relate some of these to different things. So say you have the triad, so obviously you could look at that, separate it out like that. You could think of this in terms of something that's close to a 7-note scale. So you could say, okay, maybe this is similar to a Lydian sort of sound, but lacking the 7. Or you might say, okay, maybe it's more of a dominant 7 sound, so that'd be kind of Lydian dominance. Okay. So that's kind of cool. Just to maybe relate it. Maybe even relate it up to 7 notes, or relate it kind of maybe even down to a 5-note scale. So you might say, okay, a C major pentatonic with, and then if you include that F sharp, then that makes it kind of 6-tone. So you might try to relate it to something if the 6-note scales aren't as familiar. You can always relate it to something else. All right, great. So we've got some exercises and some examples in here. Let's see what else we can learn in the. It looks like quite a lot of examples here, various things. All right, so maybe we'll play around with this a little bit. So. Okay, so each one has these different pairs, and he's going from one to the next and moving them around, and through like that. All right, so get into a little bit of the minor over the major. Okay, so he's talking about this C major triad, and then the B minor triad. So okay, another way to even just try to relate to that is really doing like every other note, right? And you can create a chord on that based on that, like a C major 7 sharp 11. Stacking that up. So there we go. So we don't have the A, now we have the B instead. So this is the next kind of thing he's talking about. So there we go. All right, and he's talking about different chords that this could work on. A minor 7. sharp half diminished, D7, D7, sus4, perhaps, yeah, that's right, that works. G major 7 with a sus4. And B minor 7. All right. So then we kind of go through the same kind of process, stacking. So notice that we have a to start out with, we had a triad pair basically. Okay, sitting one right next to the next, whole step apart. Okay, so the root note, you say of the D is a whole step above, and then on the next example I gave there, the root note was a half step below the C. Right? So so that's going to be kind of significant there to think about. All right, so let's take a look at chapter 3 here and see what kind of triad pairs we get into in the hexatonic scale. So it really has a lot of examples. This could be pretty good for sight reading practice as well. All right, so then he's talking about investigating the major over major, but a half step apart. So sort of similar to what we had there a little bit ago. But instead of that, we're going to have a major triad. So our scale, it's pretty cool sounding. All right, so kind of moving, so just to kind of summarize, we have the C and the D. We have the C and the B minor. Let's see just kind of how he arranges things. We'll read this in bass clef. We start with the C, down like that, and then okay, let's see. Okay, and he actually starts off like this in this example. Okay, and gives us again some chords. C major, A minor, D7, F minor 7 flat 5, B7, flat 9, E flat 7, E minor 7. All right. So we get that. So just kind of notice how those root notes have been relating to one another in these pairs. So we've had a root note a whole step above, and then we've had a root note a half step below in two different cases. he's been talking about there. So let's see what we have in store next here on this. So we've got augmented over augmented. Okay, so he's got a C augmented and then B augmented. So again, a half step kind of below there. So it says this hexatonic is symmetric. It's a symmetric one. Actually, only 4 of them, which makes sense. I think gives us some chord ideas here, and then he stacks them up too in order, like we did before. Okay, so let's hear how they sound a little bit over some of these chords. So C major. Okay, E major. Okay, A flat major. Okay, and let's see, it gives us that. C augmented major 7. So maybe I won't go through each one of these, but okay, and it gives us some other shapes. A minor, D7, C sharp minor 7, F sharp 7, and kind of list goes on there. So let's summarize so far. We've got C major with D major. Okay, we've got C major with B minor, C major with B major, and then we've got C augmented with B augmented. All right, so some things that this will do for our sound is just give it a more maybe a more modern feel to it. A little outside, a little more outside. So let's take a look at maybe one more for today. So we've got C major, and then he's got F sharp. So that's C major paired with, so I've got the first inversion of F sharp. That sounds really cool too. All right. So he says this creates part of a diminished scale and could be used over C7. So let's hear how that sounds. E flat 7, F sharp 7, or A7. All right, so that's going to conclude it. I think our talk for today. Maybe I'll put this into a 2-part series, so it's kind of a lot to cover. But I think this is really worthwhile to pursue and work on and play and all that. So, all right, everybody. Well, thanks for checking out this live stream. Hoping to get back into the main studio. For another talk tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But thanks for checking this out. If you are watching this on the YouTube channel, thanks for your membership. And if you're checking this out on the podcast, thanks for subscribing. And if you'd like to learn more about the video version, check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/fretprints. Well, have a great day and a great practice session.